and welcome. I'm Eric Miskell with EMSNOW, and welcome to this edition of EMSNOW Up Close. We have a new face from older customer here today visiting with us. This is Michael Mitchell, referred to as Mitch. He's the new Director of Quality with White Horse Labs. White Horse Labs, people know, we've interviewed them over the last few years, kind of the quality control company in the industry. Who provide a lot of great services, and Mitch has recently joined them here this July as in a new position as Director of Quality. So Mitch, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to come on and talk to us.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the time and the opportunity to go through this and let everyone know a little more about White Horse.
Yeah. Well, let's start with you.
Okay.
Take a moment, introduce yourself, your background, so people know who you are.
All right, great. So I'm a 21-year retired veteran from the U.S. Air Force. I worked on a bunch of different types of aircraft. I worked in maintenance control. I was in Air Force Special Operations for a while over my 21 years. I did serve in the Gulf War, which was a great opportunity to me to help support. But from there, during my last few years in the military, I decided to look ahead. So I went to get my FAA airframe and power plant license. Upon my retirement, I went and worked for United Airlines and then Delta Airlines as a line mechanic, working on from anything from a 777 to a 737, even down to a small regional aircraft. As a licensed FAA airline, mechanic. So got a little tired of working out on the flight line, and then I had the opportunity from a friend over the years. Was tasked to help start a new regional airline for Delta. It was called Compass Airlines. So I was one of 10 that sat down in a room over in Chantilly, Virginia. We took some old manuals, rewrote them, sat through the FAA back and forth investigations and questions, and then we eventually certified the airline and started flying regional aircraft for Delta under the name Compass Airlines.
Okay.
So once we were up and certified and started to fly the aircraft, they asked me to go back into maintenance, and I became the regional manager of technical operations, which oversaw three city airports, right? Nashville, Memphis. I had some time in Louisville, but then in Greenville, Mississippi. Down in Greenville, that's where we also were changing aircraft library. That's where we repainted airplanes, right?
Okay.
So I did that for 3 years, and that kind of wore me out. I'm not gonna lie, that was back and forth, and I felt it was time to make a change away from the airline. So I ended up with the Goodrich Corporation. It's their wheels and brakes factory down in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was a great opportunity. You know, I've been all over the airplane. I've changed the wheels, changed the brakes. It was just a great transfer for me to learn a different side, right? So I stayed there for like 3 years or so. And then my vice president of quality, which in this case, the Wheels and Brakes Corporation business unit, was located just a little bit up the road north of Dayton. Well, he had transferred within Goodrich to the landing gear facility here in Cleveland. And he asked me to transfer up with him. So I moved, which brought me to Cleveland. So I worked in the landing gear headquarters building for about 3.5 years, I think it was. I was a quality guy. I had to oversee the F-35 and some of the 777 landing gear aspects. So that required, the 777 was already kind of qualified, but the F-35 was not qualified. So many trips down to the facility in Fort Worth, where the final assembly, working with the DoD, Lockheed Martin, to make sure that what we assembled was actually right and performed.
Yeah.
So that was entertaining, I can say the least.
Yeah.
So after about that little stint there at landing gear, Goodrich then asked me to move to their power division over in Twinsburg, Ohio. And at this facility is where they design, qualified, and manufactured aircraft generators and aircraft generator control units, along with a few other power distribution units. My sole purpose to be brought on there, I was the manager of new programs um, for the quality aspects. So I focused on the Embraer KC-390 ram air turbine system that we designed and developed and qualified, and then in turn sold it to Embraer. So that was my focus initially. I had a few other programs. 777 was one, right? And there was a couple other military programs. One that was just continuing to support the new development activities.
Yeah.
Well, eventually I stepped into the role of site quality manager, and main objective there, the main goal that was given was we need to become full AS9100D certified for manufacturing. We were not. We were just more of a design and development facility. So that took about 2 years. Created all the work instructions, the procedures, the forms, and then we went through the audit and then became fully certified. And then I just continued on as the site quality manager as we continued to grow and change with the programs and the different milestones. And I did it for a while, and I really enjoyed it. What brought me to Whitehorse? Well, being part of a design and development facility, we were sending parts out to be counterfeit tested. And Mark had reached out to me, and this wasn't an avenue I had normally thought of, but I understood what I was doing and the importance of it. So I said, you know what? I'm at a good point in my life where I would like to make a change and move away from manufacturing and move into this test environment and really learn this trade of the business. So that's what's brought me here. I wouldn't say I wanted to get all the aspects of all of aerospace, but I could say I've got quite a diverse wealth of experience, and this was just again another great opportunity.
Yeah, and no, I appreciate that for context, so people understand your background and the skills that you bring.
Sure.
Because Whitehorse, we've known him for several years. You had the connection with Mark. He's a great guy and a good leader there, and he's developed over the last almost 20 years now, one heck of an organization that keeps expanding, and we can talk about that in a bit. But was there it's obviously it was out of your area, the airline or aerospace area, because now you're touching all of these different industries, right? Within that, was that appealing too? And maybe
it was, right. So again, I'll go back to my previous under the design and development manufacturing. We were out there as a result of the big change in the industry because of the COVID environment.
Oh, yeah.
People were out there doing lifetime buys of all these electronic components. So ourselves, we were doing the same. And you would get them from whatever avenues that you could, but you really didn't know if they were real, if they were counterfeit. Yeah. So again, we subbed that work out to quite a few other facilities, companies, to do that. We're like, hey, we're not sure. So coming in here to Whitehorse, now I'm starting to see some of those names from the past that may or may not have had a direct connection to. Some of those were more indirect, but yeah, I mean, the need for counterfeit testing has grown and will continue to grow significantly as a result of the changes in not only overseas, but as well as the ability for the U.S. market to procure these components.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, and let's talk about that a bit. I mean, I know that Whitehorse is known primarily or started kind of on that counterfeit detection and, very strong in that. They have now facilities, around the world. But there's other services too, beyond just that, which I wanted to make sure that we touch on because I think they may be in some cases lesser known. One of those is for example, is the factory auditing. that you guys do. Tell us about that and the benefits those give on customers.
Yeah, so this is a really great aspect that Whitehorse can provide. So we'll have customers based all over the world, even again here in the U.S. They'll reach out to Whitehorse and say, "Hey, I know you have a facility in Asia. Could you go to those particular sites that these companies need us to audit the product to?" And we'll work with those particular A, B, and C companies, and they'll give us the data, the drawings and whatnot that they want us to go and audit and make sure that the assembly process is following what the expectation will be. So we do provide this. It's a great cost savings for the U.S. based customers or even North America, right? They're not having to travel. They can use our dedicated and experienced team of auditors to go to these facilities, conduct the audits, report the findings back to the customer. It's non-biased, right? We're just there acting purely as an auditor, and it gives the customers here in the North American region, excuse me, the comfort that things are being manufactured to their standards.
Yeah.
So it's a great business opportunity, and it continues to grow for Whitehorse.
Yeah, no, and like you say, you have teams of experts who can do that, right? And and they may have been in those, or they've been in multiple facilities, so they know what to look for, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that I find interesting is what y'all call the programming, packaging, and logistics support, because that is a value-added service that you provide for your customers. Speak to that one a bit.
Yeah, so we have the ability to provide some of what most people say is non-value added packaging, right? So we'll take components and we'll package them up in a tape and reel, and on behalf of the customer, they'll send them to us. We're not really doing any counterfeit testing, but we have the ability to go ahead and package them up. We will again do a visual inspection to make sure there's no damage or anything.
All right.
But we can package them up for them and then ship them to where they need, along with some of the warehousing logistics, right? So we'll handle the movements on their behalf. We're starting to progress into a little bit of a warehousing for certain customers, just because we have the ability to manage that.
Yeah. And now, and speaking of that too, the warehousing, you have a footprint, around the world. And you've recently, I know, expanded both into North America and to Europe to complement that. So
Correct.
maybe speak to that footprint and also what's driven the expansion into these new geographies.
Yeah, so as mentioned, part of the expansions within Whitehorse, they opened up a facility in Munich, Germany, right? And then around the same time, opened up the facility here in Cleveland, with just the core competency at the time of counterfeit testing. But this has allowed to grow the Europe market, right? There's lots of opportunities in Europe with the automotive industry as well as the railway industry. There is aerospace industry there as well, right? But then moving here to the U.S., the opportunities are really limitless, right? We're trying to move into the DoD type work, and there's so many new opportunities that the footprint here within the U.S. should grow rather significantly as things continue to ramp up.
Yeah. So tell me, as the new director of quality within this organization now, what is your role going to be? I mean, what are your role in improving and kind of strengthening the services that they provide?
Yeah, so it is a new role for the organization. It does oversee all of the sites, all of the Asian sites, European site, and then the site here in Ohio. Maintaining certifications, managing a team of engineers that are report writers and the individuals who make the analyses, making sure that they're providing the correct type of analysis. Working with the suppliers and the customers, right? That's another major aspect. First point of contact for any customer related issues. whether it be here in the U.S. or over in Asia and Europe. So,
Okay.
and then continuous improvement, right? That's always an aspect that any organization needs, and that's part of my roles and responsibilities for all of the sites. So
Okay.
it's exciting to be able. Well, it is because coming here new, fresh set of eyes, asking lots of questions, right? Looking for ways to help everybody and also streamline. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's really a great opportunity.
Did they have, are there quality people in each of the facilities already as well?
So yeah, so we have one quality individual per site, right, in all the facilities, and then over in our Asia area, um, we have a bunch of engineers, analysis engineers, that all fall under my remit in terms of supporting the operations and helping them make the decisions in terms of what's right, what's wrong, to come up with, hey, this is the way, the parameters that we need to test to. So yeah, we do have them in the sites. The interactions are, as you can imagine, depending upon the time zones, we have those dedicated weekly meetings. So yeah, it's we're growing a little more in the quality arena within the Asian sites,
Good.
just to broaden our depth. So
Yeah. No, that's all very good. The now you are going to be, you told me before, you will be attending Electronica here in next month.
yes.
So that is a good opportunity. I know that that Mark and the team are usually have a booth there, and what are you? You're going to be Hall C4, booth number 401.
That's correct.
Is what I saw, and so we want to invite anybody who wishes to meet with Mitch or to learn more about White Horse Labs to reach out and do so.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have quite a contingency from our sales team. Myself, representing quality, Mark will definitely be there. So please stop by. We come and see what we have to offer. There's lots of information we can provide as part of this conference. If individuals are looking to come and visit our facility there within the Munich
That's
area,
right. Yeah.
we're coordinating and scheduling those types of activities. So yeah, please, our booth's there. Come by.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. I forgot about that with the location in Munich, that they could, while they're in town, go over and take a look up close and see what that's about. So
Yeah, so the marketing team is coordinating and setting up through some online links and whatnot,
okay.
appointments. But yeah, we'll be there. The leadership team will be there throughout the week, and we look forward to meeting everybody.
Yeah, good. And I will tell people who are watching, if you want to reach out to Mitch directly, you can certainly go on LinkedIn. I will warn you on LinkedIn, don't run Michael Mitchell. You have to run Mitch Mitchell to find him on there. So it took me a moment, so that's why I offer up the warning, so or the advice. So Mitch, thank you for coming on. It's good to speak to White Horse again, and I look forward to seeing you in Munich next month.
Well, thank you, Eric. This has been an absolute pleasure. I love to let people know about White Horse and what we can provide and the potential opportunities, and showcase, more of White Horse. This is a great opportunity, and again, thank you very much.
Absolutely, sir. Well, you have a good day, and we'll see you in Munich.
Thank you. Look forward to meeting you.
Thank you.